Hello, and yesterday I got the State of the Newest Halloween movie, and I'm here to give you my initial thoughts on the film. But before I do this, as it is well connected with any other franchise of the Halloween movies or any other, of course I'll just assess my opinion on the other films, but this movie initially tells us that none of them, except for the very first 1970s version, which is directed by John Carpenter, one of the all-time greats within the horror genre, um, one of the all-time great directors and one of the all-time great horror movie classics, the original film. So in this film, initially this tells us that it erased every other film except for that film from existence, including these two disastrous films. Okay, I'll admit it. I have a bit of a guilty spot for the Rob Zombie version, but that's a guilty pleasure, and the guilty pleasures in my mind are more of a missional process of admitting that I enjoyed it, but I know by all means it's not a good movie, which these movies are, and the same thing I could say about the Resident Evil movies. But that's a whole other video for another day. But this film of Halloween, which is directed by David Gordon Green and written by Dan McBride, and kind of like produced and all that other stuff by Carpenter and all the others. This movie picks up about at least 40 years after the original 1970s version. Jamie Lee Curtis picks up her iconic role as Laurie Strode, but in this film, she's a panicked, highly disturbed grandmother who has very much grown up with her main daughter, who's played by Judy Greer, and her daughter played by Andy Machak. And in this film, she's very much like raised her daughter to be, and herself to be like in that post-traumatic stressed era, to a feeling of, like the traumatization of the past, and how she's getting ready to kind of meet face to face with him once more again. And if anything goes wrong, she's completely 100% prepared. So it does initially have a Terminator 2 type of feel to it. That vast weakness, vulnerability, and underappreciated approach that Sarah Connor had in the first Terminator, when she was greatly out of her depth against the Terminator with her and what's his name? Not the actor's name, but John Connor sent him back in the past to save his mother. She was greatly undervalued, and now in the sequel, she's very much scarred from the past, and she's getting willing and ready to fight back, being very well trained and kind of train the next generation for her to kind of have that strong, dynamic, fierce approach as she had. And one of the big strengths about the movie is that it knows how to portray the strengths and weaknesses of a traumatized and vigored mind. On one hand, it has her willing to at least approach the situation when she needs to be. Of course, this movie is called Halloween, which you all know, because Halloween Michael Myers breaks out of. He doesn't really break out of the jail, but it's more like him and a bunch of other the asylum people are being relocated to another place, but the bus crashes and they escape. For the record, I just want to bring up, and just remember this, I wanted to say this. They had a golden chance to have some good fake outs. I won't say fake out scares, because that's never the best thing to have. But I would say they missed the opportunity to do something creative. I mean, highly freaking creative, with the idea of having a bunch of people, paranoid, insane, schizophrenic, and all that, going around and almost having the same disconnected feel that Michael Myers has as their unbelievably shocking and horrific approach. So imagine having like different people around town, and you're like, oh shit, this one person's here and another, and that, the police can become too divided, too thin, to find them all around. And within that mess, they have Michael Myers riding through so he can slip through the cracks of the police. But nothing really comes of that, and I think that was in my opinion, that was a missed opportunity to capitalize on the fact that there is much other people out there who are just as crazy as he is. And by the way, I would say this movie has if not my very opening of 2017, not 2017, of 2018. and and yes, you know what it is once you see the trailer, because it is that shit you see in the trailer of them going to interview Michael in the trailer, but it's just so captivating and shot so close and intense. I thought it was a great setup. And for the most part, I really dug the story and I really dug the angle of what it tried to cover, of how Laurie Strode's mind has really alienated her family, but has helped her cope and prepare for Michael striking again. And it has that type of pro-con feel to it. Like on one hand, yeah, it has her ready to face him, but on the other hand, it's really alienated herself away from her family. It's made her, it's made the government, in a way, pull away her daughter and say, no, you're not capable of being a mother. This is 100% wrong. And you can see why they have such a resentment against her. And I think the dynamics between that and the family were, for the most part, really good. Also, I really like the police. Enough, and again, in these horror movies, the police either is two things: A, too dismissive, or B, too idiosyncratically thick. And in this film, you can really see the struggle of what they're trying to do. It's like, yes, we know. You can see the clear struggle of what's going on, and the movie clearly shows every police officer has a confliction to do, and it has a great sense of turmoil within the film, giving it more angst. And not to mention, I thought there's a lot of great intensity and tension and fear that really made the movie truly uneasy at great moments. There's a certain scene in the middle of the movie when we follow Michael Myers go into a house, grab a knife, kill someone, and then do other stuff, and it's all in one shot. It's an incredibly beautiful, well-handled, crafted shot, and I'm like, wow, that's great. I love the focus of it. I love it's really well done. But there's definitely some problems. Number one, I do think so. A lot of the side characters, especially the kids. Now, to be fair, I think Laurie Strode's granddaughter, who's Allison, that's her name. I thought she was an interesting, capable, and good enough lead, that which I liked. The problem is, everyone around her aren't really that interesting. As I said, I liked the police officer, and I liked Laurie Strode. I liked her dynamic with Michael Myers. I felt Michael Myers was terrifying, and I liked her relationship with the family, and her and Judy Greer as her daughter and her granddaughter. I thought that was all really great, really great. But it fails to really have what any movie should have, and that is not just any horror movie, but any movie in general, and that is that it should have a good sense of atmosphere. And I feel like the writing is so, I won't say it's choppy, but it feels a bit too tight for what it needs to be. It's like storyline focused on A to B, then the C to D, E, F, and G. And it feels like it's just too tightly writ for a slasher film. And really, that storyline kind of gets drawn out too much. The movie's like almost just about 2 hours. It feels longer. And at a point, I felt like it was just kind of losing steam, and I got a little uninterested. But thankfully, when Michael Myers comes back in with some great action and great violence, that actually adds to what's going on, the fear and the shock. The movie knows how to pick up steam, and actually, in the end. Oh, and by the way, I'm not gonna reveal it at all, but there's a end credit scene. Let me tell you, that was fucking. I just really did not enjoy it. I thought it was a really lame, not the great one that really wasn't all that interesting nor investing. Because me and my friends, like, I wouldn't left the theater, and me and my friend were just sitting there, we're like, no, we know there's a post-credits ended scene, and it's like lame as hell. It's one of the worst I've ever seen. It's not that interesting. And I will say, I liked how they flipped everything on its head within the last act of the film, and showing Laurie Strode's real final conclusion of what's going on. And like her connection with the family, of trying to be like, no, he's back. He's gonna come back. He's gonna strike fear once again. And they're like, no, don't worry. It's just grandma being off her meds again. Even though Also, I would say this. As a sequel, it really sucks because even though it's in modern times, and I understand the movie is like, oh, you're trying to dismiss for what's happened to Laurie Strode, it never feels like they learned anything. It feels like the police hasn't learned anything, or at least to apply that mindset to other crimes. So when this shit happens again, it feels like no one's really taking a lesson from what's being learned. The film kind of feels a little rinse and repeat within its stakes at times, and for me, it really just kind of felt like it didn't really feel all that creative, clever, or it just didn't have the smart writing of Get Out. It didn't have the clever premise of It Follows. It didn't have the same kind of visual aesthetic as last year's It, or anything like that. It just kind of felt its approach, its tone kind of felt fairly generic. And for that, it really kind of lacks a true sense of tone. For that, and for what it's worth, I think Halloween is. I'd recommend anyone to see this if you're into movies at all. I mean, and if you like horror movies, I would totally recommend it. However, I don't think it's as great as everyone think it is. If you were to ask me about from the time I got out of the theater until a good 3 to 4 hours after the movie, within that frame, I would have said this is great. But now I'm kind of lowering on the film. I do think it's still overall it's a good experience, and I really enjoyed it. But it's not one of my top 7 of the year for me. Would it make my top 10 right now? Probably, but there's not much. But there's a lot better films than this. And I know I should be seeing First Man, and that Lady Gaga movie, A Star Is Born. Yeah, A Star Is Born. I should have seen those films, but I was like, what, I want to see Halloween a lot more. But yeah, I kind of feel like it was good, but it was undeniably flawed. I felt like they never felt like. I feel like the film never acknowledged the past in a way where I felt like it was really making a remark for itself. It just kind of felt stale and generic, and it felt like no lessons had been learned from anything. And as it just kind of falls flat for me. But that's my approach to the film, and I really thought it was just kind of overall. I say it was alright to good enough. So for me, I'm going to give this year's Halloween again. Why the fuck would you just call it Halloween? And I know they couldn't just call it Halloween 2 because there's another Halloween 2. Not to mention there's a zombie Halloween and there's a Carpenter Halloween. Oh my god. But with all that instead, I would definitely say I'm going to give this year's Halloween, I'm going to give it an 83%. I really enjoyed it overall. I thought it was a thoroughly good film. However, it has some big weaknesses, and I don't think it's as excellent as some people are making it out to be. It's still a really good movie for what it's worth. If you want to hear like my letter grading for it, I give it like a B to B+. That's what I say. Would I watch it again? Sure. Would I spend my own money to see it in the theaters? Probably not. If a friend was like, "Hey, dude, I want to see Halloween. I'll buy a ticket," I'd be like, "Okay." But that's good. I'll say this: it was certainly a lot better than Venom. So that's worth something, I guess. Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer, but you know what? I thought it was, for what it's worth, it was fine. So yeah, that's my review. Everyone, really hope you enjoyed it. As always, thank you very much for watching, and be annotation my channel here and my previous video on one of these 2 spots. As always, everyone, thank you very much for watching, and I have you all a great day. Till then, stay scared and fill up on your candies. Bye. That was a terrible one. Yeah, I did not. What am I thinking?